Good morning students, how are you all? Previous class we were discussing about the fifth lesson we have completed, that was the Indian rivers and water resources. Today we are discussing about the food security, which is the 10th chapter in paper 1 social studies. I hope you are all well. That is the 10th chapter we are going to be discussing about the food security. So, what is the food security? First of all, we are concentrating on the food security concept. Food security is nothing but availability of the food each and everybody at any time at affordable prices, which means food is available to the each and everybody at any time is called the food security. So, in this lesson we are discussing about the what is the situation about the food security of the country. In India, each and everybody has the living with a comfortable satisfaction with the having of the they are able to take 3 meals per day or 2 meals per day. In India, we have a 130 crores of the population living. So, this 130 crores of the population is having to the perfect food security is available or not. Is the our governments are giving to the guarantee to the food security to these crores of the people. So, which aspects, which one is affected on the food security, each and everything we are discussing about in this lesson. So, first of all, before independence, in India we were very common famines. So, before the independence 1948, before in the year of the 1943 and 1945, in between in 2 years, Bengal famine was the big one. So, this Bengal famine is the more popular in India before the independence. This due to the Bengal famine, almost all 3 to 5 million people has died, they lost their lives. You think about the today, it is not big issue for the food, but 1940s in India 50 lakhs people has died due to the lack of food. This is the situation, it is a very shame to us. So, this is the situation before the independence, because this Bengal famine was occurred due to the traders was created artificially they are created shortage of the food grains. Government has nothing done. Government has simply, that is the before the independence we were ruled by the Britishers. Britishers has not taken any steps regarding to the providing to the food security to the poor people in those days. So, this Bengal famine was completely created by the traders. These traders has created as the artificial shortage of the food grains in the country. That is why we were lost 30 to 50 lakhs of the people has died because of the lack of the food grains. So, this Bengal famine experience, one of the victim has expressed his opinion regarding to the Bengal famine, which one is the he has given to the own experience. One of the victim has reached to the Kolkata streets due to the non-availability of the food grains in their own village. He has went to the Kolkata streets. In Kolkata streets, mothers are running to the wherever is food grains are distributed, mothers is running with their children. So, in that Kolkata streets, those who are coming to the Kolkata streets were from the rural area, those who are coming to the villages to the Kolkata, these people as having only some little bit of the floor, they do not have sufficient food grains, that is why they are reached to the Kolkata. In Kolkata streets as situation is very horrible. Mothers are went to their children, that children are already dead. These mothers are trying to survive them, their mothers are sprinkling them to the water on them, but already they are running with the dead children. So this is a very horrible situation. And also he is expressing his own experience. He saw many incidents in that Kolkata streets. Many of the people has eaten grass and snakes also. So they are eaten by the grass and snakes because of there is no availability of the food grains. That's why. So people are running with streets wherever is the food grains is distributed. That area he has go and around to the reach to the that particular spot, and people are died. Number of the lakhs of the people has died. So this is the horrible situation is were experienced in Bengal famine during the 1943 to 45. So this experience is expressed by one of the victims. Those were personally experienced in those days, and those were in Kolkata incident. Most of the farmers has reached to the villages to the Kolkata. These farmers has sat on the roadside. These farmers has how they are sat on the roadside, they are completely dead. How they are sat on the roadside, automatically they are sad because of the lack of the food. So this is the situation. So here these farmers are very innocent. The farmers are not beggars. They don't know how to beg. That's why the farmers are not beg to the others. They are sacrifice their lives. So this is the prehistorical story before the independence. Based on this historical background, during the independence time 1947-48, government of India has focusing on the how to overcome this food shortage in India. How to overcome this food shortage? In India, we are lack of the food grains as a shortage. Once we are thinking about the statistics, in 1951, 36 crores of the population. In 1951, our Indian population was 36 crores, and at the same time, food grain production is those time 1951 total food grain production is 51 million tons, which means in the time of independence our population was only 36 crores, our total food grain production was 51 million tons. But this 51 million tons does not meet the requirements of these 36 crores of the population. So in the 1950s and 1950s, which one we were produced by the food grain, total supply of the food grains in the country, that total food grains is not sufficient for our population. But today our population is 130 crores above. Today we are able to producing of the production is almost all 260 million tons. You can think about it. Today is our population is above the 130 crores, and today we are able to the 260 million tons. What we are discussing about in the situation of the 1940s and 50s, in the period of the 1950s, we were able to producing of the only 51 million tons of the food grains, total food grains, that is including of the paddy, wheat, bajra, jowar, all types of the food grains. But that 51 million tons not is enough for our 36 crores of the population. But today our population is above the 130 crores, but we are able to producing of the 260 million tons today, even though we are able to feeding of our 130 crores of the population, and also we are able to the exporting of the food grains to the other countries. So this is the development has occurred. We are reaching now. So this is the development, that is the different thing. Last 70 years onwards, our focusing on mostly agriculturally, our economy also agriculture economy. That's why we are discussing about the one by one. So based on the historical background, in the pre-independence we have a very common of the payments. That's why food security is a very important. In that independence time, government of India has trying to the how to overcome of the shortage of the food grains. That's why government has thinking very seriously. Government has started various programs such as subsidized food grains given to the needy people, midday meals and Anganwadi centers. These three schemes has started by the based on the historical background of the Kolkata famine, or previously we have a number of the famines was occurred. So these three schemes have started. One is the public distribution system, which one is the public distribution system is what we call this fair price shops or ration shops also is under the part of the public distribution system. In this lesson we are discussing about the next part, that is the PDS and midday meals and Anganwadis. These three schemes is relating to the supporting to the food security, how to give to the poor people, to the feeding to the food to the needy people. So in this lesson we have to be discussing about in the first part, what is the food grain production in the country. In the first session today we are discussing about what is the food grain production in the country. Second section we are discussing about the access to the food. We have a 260 million tons of the food grains here today we are able to produce it. These food grains are available to the each and everybody or not. What is the situation? Finally, third section we are concentrating on the which food grains as reaching to the needy people or poor people. Is it nutrition food or not? So first section today we are discussing about the food grain production of the country, whether it is in India we have a food grains is sufficient or not. That is the first section. Second section is how much of the food grains is available in the country. These food grains is reaching to the accessible to the needy people or not. This accessible to the poor people or not. And end of the part we are discussing about we are concentrating about the which food grains is reached to the needy people or poor people. It is nutrition food or less nutrition. So that is the three sections we will discuss in this lesson. So first section is the food security of the country. First section we are discussing about the food security of the country. If we take any country, this food security of the country is the first of the more important aspect is availability of the food grains. How many food grains is available? So in this first part, food security of the country, that is increasing of the food grain production. Increasing of the food grain production. Already we were discussed it. In the 1950s, we were produced only 51 million tons of the food grains. Food grains is nothing but including paddy, wheat, jowar, millets. These are all pulses, edible oil seeds, all types of the whatever it be produced by the farmers, that is we can call it as a food grains. So from the 1950s and 2010 and 2020 till today, now we are day by day our production has increased. So in your textbook page number 132, graph 1 he has given production of the select food grains in million tons. So graph 1 he has explained to the in this textbook page number 132. You can observe in the page number 132 the graph 1. According to this graph, x axis he has given to the 19 years, y axis he has given to the million tons. So according to this graph 1970s to the 2010-11, what is the food grain production has increased? Paddy, wheat, jowar and oil seeds. So he has given 1970s paddy production is the 41 million tons. It has increasing to the almost 98 million tons. And wheat production has increasing to the 22 million tons to the it has reaching to the 89 million tons. And jowar it has increasing to 10 million tons to the reaching to the 31 million tons. But oil seeds has come down, that is the 10 million tons to the oil seeds has come down, that 10 million tons to the almost 8 or 9. So it is clearly indicated, graph 1 has indicated paddy and wheat food grain production has increased, oil seeds and jowar production has come down. 1970s to the 2010-11, comparing to the paddy and wheat, wheat is increased tremendously, but paddy also has increased. Only two, paddy and wheat has increased, but jowar and oilseeds has decreased. And next coming to the graph 2, yield for the select food grains in kilograms per hectare, which means 1 hectare is nothing, 1 hectare is equal 2.5 acres. So, in 2.5 acres, this paddy has produced to the 1970s paddy as 1 hectare, it has able to the 1100 kilograms per hectare, and today 2010-11 it has reached into the almost all 2300 kilograms in kilograms. Now today we are able to producing. We are coming to the wheat. In the 1970s, wheat production has only 1300 kilograms per hectare. 1970s, it is increasing to the 3000 kilograms per hectare. Whereas coming to the jowar and oil seeds, it has a stable increasing. So, which mean according to the graph 1 and graph 2, we are coming to the graph 1. In according to the graph 1, food grain production has increased in India in 1950s to the 1920s. Food grain production has increased, but only two crops has increased, paddy and wheat. Other crop production has come down. Paddy and wheat has increased, but other crops production has come down. This is the according to the graph 1. Graph 2 is explaining to us yield for select food grains, that is the paddy production has increased, wheat production has increased. Comparing to the wheat production and paddy production, wheat production has increased almost all 1200 kilograms, so it has increased to 3000 kilograms per hectare. And paddy also has increased, that is the 1100 to the 2300 kilograms per hectare has increased. Food grain, selected food grains has increased, and but there is no increasing of the jowar and oil seeds, which means only two crops production has increased. Other crops, oil seeds and bajra, jowar production has come down. Only in India, paddy, wheat, these two crops has increased tremendously, as well as the per hectare has increased, also number of the total food grain production also major share is paddy and wheat. In India, most of the farmers has produced paddy and wheat. These two things, which means after the green revolution, after the implementation of the 1965 green revolution, these two crops production has increased too much. But continue, how it is possible? These two crops has increased because of the government of India is focusing on the first 5-year plan, also given to the more priority to the development of the agriculture. 1965 is the started the green revolution program. Under the green revolution program is nothing but increasing of the food grain. So, in the increasing of the food grain, only paddy and wheat, HYV seeds, high yielding variety seeds are found out by the scientists. So, that is why this paddy and wheat HYV seeds we were used. That is why the HYV seeds is nothing but hybrids. So, HYV seeds we are using, that is why these two crops has increased tremendous, but it is continuously it has goes on, and also we are using of the more fertilizer, more pesticides on this paddy production and wheat production. If it is we are not checking up, we are not control which one we are using of the more fertilizer, that is the urea and DAP, and pesticides which one we are using of the controlling of the pests on the especially paddy crop and wheat crop, all those things. If it is we are not control, in the future it's may be decreasing of the paddy and wheat. Presently paddy production and wheat production is sufficient in the country. Why? Because we are using of the more pesticides, more fertilizers we are using. That's why we are getting to the more production presently now. If it is not controlling, in the future the production may be come down, this paddy and wheat. This is the another thing, that is the last chapter we will discuss about the sustainable development. So, if we are continuously goes on increasing of the pesticides and fertilizers, it will be decreasing of the soil of the land, that soil will be decreasing, demoralizing, and air pollution will be increasing. That will be leads to the different issues that will be we are discussing about the next chapter. But this is the situation in India. On the whole, in the first section, in India, our food grain production has increased and yield of the selected food grains also increasing. Selected food grains is nothing but wheat and paddy has increased because of the Green Revolution program. So this is the situation, and next we are going for the availability of the food grains. Availability of the food grains. This availability of the, which one is there? Today we are able of the 260 million tons of the food grains are producing presently. 260 million tons of the food grains we are producing we are now, but this 260 million tons of the food grains is available to the 130 crores of the population. So if it is the available of the total, this food grains is available to each and everybody in the any time at lower prices, but many times these some of the people has died because of the lack of the food. We see number of the news in the newspaper, many people has died because of the shortage of the food. So this is the situation. Still today, most of the people does not have to the proper nutritional food. Many of the people as living with the only 1 meals per day or twice meals per day, but nobody, majority of the people does not have to the 3 meals per day. One side we have a sufficient food grains. Another side is the 10 to 20% of the population in India doesn't have into the proper food grains availability. So this is the that's why we are discussing about this food security concept in our 10th class. So next we are going for the availability of the food grains. Good morning students, welcome to online classes DU Nalgonda. This is 10th class social studies paper 1, 10th chapter food security. Already we have completed 2 parts regarding to this chapter, food security. Initially we are discussing about what is the situation about before the independence in food grain production in India. After the independence, what is the situation food grain production in India, and what is the availability of the other food items in India, and agricultural diversification we have completed. We were learned previous parts. In India, food grain production has increased, especially paddy and wheat has increased, but pulses and oilseeds production has not increased. We were completed, and later we are discussed about the other in India. Consumption pattern has changed in India. Other than food grains, people are demanding more fruits, meat and vegetables are demanding. This is a good sign. And also we were discussing about the best example, Midnapur district in West Bengal state. In this district, agricultural diversification is very well successful, which village is nearer to the river basin, and which river is the very far away to the river basin, that village has practiced dry land agriculture. So previous lessons we have completed food grain production in India. Today we are going to discuss about the access to food. So after the independence, last 70 years, during the last 77 decades or 70 years independence period, food grain production has increased. Now we are concentrating in India is today we were able to produce the food grain production to the 51 million tons to the 260 million tons we are produced, which means 51 million tons to the 260 million tons now we are able to produce. It is clearly increased. But increased food grains are reached to the needy people or not? That is our second session in this lesson we are concentrating. How much of the food grains are available in this country? Is it reached to the needy people or is it reached to the poor people or not? that can we have to be decided, that can we have to be discussed in this session. So first of all we are discussing about access to food, access to food. So according to the planning commission, nutritionist or scientist, if you want to be daily in the morning to evening, daily we have to be taken the, some people are taken the 3 meals per day, or some people are taken the 2 meals per day. Whatever we have to be eaten, that eaten food has digested in our body, the that food has digested in our body, it has produced heat in our body. That heat is measured in kilocalories. Kilocalories. What food we have to be eaten, that food has given to the energy to our body. That energy too is very very important for the functioning of our body. We have to do any work, we need the energy. How can we get that energy? What we have to be, that energy is depending upon the what we have to eaten by the food items. So these food items has given to us energy, that energy levels are measured in terms of kilocalories. According to the nutritionist, nutritionist is nothing but he is the scientist. According to the nutritionist, those who are working in rural areas, that rural areas people should be taken at least 2400 kilocalories. Kilocalories food should have to be taken in rural areas. In urban areas, 2100 kilocalories, which means if we want to be work perfectly, either are urban, either are rural, these people should have to be taken food equal to the, in rural areas 2400 kilocalories of the food should be taken. In urban areas, they have to be must eaten by the food, it equal to the 2100 kilocalories of the food should have to be taken. This is the standard measurements. This according to the nutritionist, this is the standard measurements. Minimum requirement of the people in rural areas and urban areas is this is the standard kilocalories. In rural areas, the standard kilocalories is 2400 kilocalories. In urban areas, 2100 kilocalories. Naturally, those who are living in rural areas, these people are morning to evening, they have to be work to physical work. That's why they have to be taken more calories comparing to the urban people. That's why they are fixing up the less than 300 kilocalories according to the urban people. So, which means this is the kilocalories is a measurement of the what we have to be eaten. So, according in India, one survey has conducted. According to that survey, bottom this bar graph is explaining about the how much of the kilocalories has taken by the different percentage of the people in India. This bar graph is explaining about the calories intake per person in rural India. In rural India, this bar graph is explaining us how much of the kilocalories has taken by the in rural area, especially those who are living in rural areas, how much of the kilocalories they have to taken. So x axis is explaining to us it is percentage of the people, and y axis has given taken the calories here percentage of the people x axis. So bottom quarter of the population, which means those who are having to the poorest of the poor in the rural areas, that is the bottom quarter, this 25% of the people are taken to the only 1624 kilocalories food has taken. Those who are living poorest of the poor in the rural area, 25% of the population is taken 1624 kilocalories food has taken. And second quarter means that is the 25 to 50 percentage, that is the 25% of the 50 percentage, this is the middle class people, they are below middle class people, they are able to take in the 1900 kilocalories of the food they have taken now. and third quarter means that is the above middle class people. For example, they are able to the taken to the 2143 kilocalories food has taken. And top quarter, those who are living in rich people in these rural areas, these 25% is the highest percentage of the 25%, that is the rich people in rural areas, they are able to take into the 2521 kilocalories food has they have to be eaten. Here 80% of the rural people, they are eaten less than what their requirement of the standard kilocalories. In India, 80% of the rural people are eaten less than what they are actually required according to the standard kilocalories. Only 20% of the rural people are eaten more than their requirement. 80% of the people are eaten less than their requirement. 20% of the people are eaten to the more than their requirement. Here, according to the standards, 2400 kilocalories is the enough, but rich people are taken to the 121 kilocalories as eaten more. Why these 80% of the people are eaten less than their requirement? What is the reason? You can think it. What is the reason in India rural people are eaten less than their requirements? You already previous class you have to be discussed 8th class and 9th class. Because of poverty, because of unemployment, these people are does not having to the proper income levels. That's why these people are not able to purchasing of these food grains. So this is we can call it as a lack of purchasing power. Due to the lack of the purchasing power, these 80% of the rural people are not able to purchasing of the what their requirement of the food grains. Due to the low income, due to the poverty, due to the unemployment, these people are unable to purchasing of these food grains. That's why they are taking to the less than their requirements. So due to the lack of the purchasing power, they are not able to the this 80% of the people does not having to the low purchasing power. Low purchasing power is nothing but lack of income. What is the main lack of the income? These people does not having to the proper employment opportunities. These people as living with the poverty. These people does not having to the proper income sources. That's why these people are taken to the less than their requirement. This is the so it is clear in India most of the people are not access to the food. 80% of the people in India, this food is not available. It is clear. One side is in India having to the excess of the food grains is available. Now we are able to the exporting the food grains to the other countries, but this what we are producing of the food grains is not available to the most of the rural area people. Still today, most of the at least 20% of the people are waiting for the 3 meals per day. Most of the 15 to 20% of the people are eating for the only 1 meals or 2 meals per day. So this is the situation. So for this purpose, in India, is there any steps has taken by the government or not? Next we are moving to the next section. So it is clear what we have available of this food grains, it is not available to the each and everybody. So during the after the independence, government of India has thinking seriously how to overcome this shortage of the food grains. We were imported food grains from the America, wheat up to the 1975. So for this, how to overcome this, how to reach the food grains to the needy people. That's why government of India has started during the 1940s public distribution system. public distribution system, what we call this is the PDS. So, this PDS system was started by the government of India under the public distribution system. Under the PDS, government has started one welfare program for the giving to the food security to the needy people. Under the public distribution system, government has started distributed food grains to the poor people at a subsidized rate, which means suppose in the open market kg rice is the 40 rupees fine rice, but today government has distributed at 1 rupee kg rice through the public distribution system, which we are getting to in our villages, that is the ration shops. That ration shops we can call it as a fair price shops. Fair price shops, that is we can call as ration shops. Government has identified that those who are having to the poor people in the village, that poor people has given by the white ration cards to these poor people by the government. Those are having to the white ration cards, these white ration card holders has taken the rice from the ration shops in our villages at subsidized rates. This is the public distribution system. He has given to the in 2009-10 one survey has conducted in India. According to that survey, this public distribution system was started by the government of India after the Second World War. After the Second World War in India, we have experienced 1943 to 45 in India. Many famines was occurred. That is one of the major famine was occurred in Bengal famine. Due to the Bengal famine, 3 to 5 millions of the people has died. That's why government is seriously thinking how to overcome this problem. That's why government is starting of the distribution of the food grains to the shops. That system we can call it as a public distribution system. So, from the 1947 onwards, from the independence till today in India, PDS public distribution system has continued. Every year 1 lakh crores of the rupees has spent by the central government as the food subsidy. So, this performance of the 2009-10 one survey has conducted in India. According to the 2009-10 one survey was conducted. According to this survey, South Indian states has performance very well, and North Indian states was not performance, it's very bad, which means most of the South Indian people are purchased by the food grains from the ration shops. Almost 90% of the households are purchased food grains they are getting to the food grains from the ration shops, but where it has the North Indian states like Bihar, Uttar Pradesh, other North Indian states has the only 20 to 30% of the food grains has received from the fair price shops. Once we are looking to that bar graph which he has given to the textbook page number 138, please observe that bar graph, children. Here graph 4 has explaining to us what is indicated. Percentage of share of the purchase from the PDS rice and wheat in 2009-10. In all India level, 28% of the wheat has received from the ration shop or fair price shops. In rice has received from the ration shop 39%. Here Tamil Nadu and Andhra Pradesh is the two states has performance very well. In Tamil Nadu, 91% of the rice has received from the ration shops by the needy people. In combined Andhra Pradesh, 84% of the rice has received from the ration shop, but where it has the Bihar, wheat is a 13%, and Punjab wheat is the 24% of the wheat is received from the ration shop. Children, clearly what we understood this graph 4, North Indian states performance is very bad. South Indian states performance very well. Most of the 90% of the food grains is receiving from the fair price shops in South Indian states, and North Indian states is only 20 to 30% of the food grains is received from the fair price shops. This is the depending, it is clearly indicate, it is depending upon the political will and government administration, that is a different thing. So that's why this is also clearly indicating. And next we are going for the very important point is in PDS, buffer stock and minimum supporting price. Minimum supporting price is presently is the very burning issue, which one is the farmers here protesting in nearby in Delhi. They are completely blocked on national highways. They are demanding of the we want minimum supporting price. Now we are looking to the 2 points, this buffer stock and minimum supporting price is the very important for the 2 marks questions and 1 mark questions. Okay students, now we are discussing about the next topic, that is the buffer stock, very important. Buffer stock is nothing but food grains, wheat and rice procured and maintained by government through FCI is called buffer stock. Buffer stock is nothing but rice and wheat procured and maintained by government through FCI is called buffer stock. Here 2 concepts is procured and maintained. This procured means nothing but FCI is the purchasing from the farmers by the food grains, and also it is maintained in the that food grains in the FCI godowns. So here very clear cut, buffer stock is a very important concept for this lesson. Buffer stock is nothing but rice and wheat procured and maintained by government through FCI, means Food Corporation of India, is called buffer stock. FCI was established in 1965. So this Food Corporation of India is the central government agency. This is the taken by the whole the responsible for the purchasing from the food grains from the farmers, and it is distributed to the food grains to the whichever state has a shortage, that state should be distributed by this FCI all over India. And next topic is minimum support price, MSP. MSP, minimum support price. This is a very burning topic issue now. Recently government of India has enacted the 3 acts regarding to the agriculture reforms. Minimum supporting price is nothing but farmers are paid by pre-announced price for their crops. This price is called minimum price supporting price. Farmers are paid pre-announced prices for their crops. These prices is called minimum supporting price. Every year minimum supporting price as declared by the central government agency, that is the CACP, Commission for Agriculture and Commission for Prices. So this central government agency has every year announced by the minimum supporting price, which means farmers should be selling to their food grains at the open market minimum at the minimum supporting price. Farmers can be having to the selling to their food grains to the above the minimum supporting price. If it is that nobody has not come forward for the purchasing for the at the rate of the minimum supporting price, government should be purchased from the farmers through the various agencies, that is FCI, Food Corporation of India, CCI, Cotton Corporation of India, NAFED. These are all the central government agencies. So this is the MSP. MSP is nothing but which prices is gained by the farmers, which prices is paid by the FCI to the farmers. Which prices is paid by the FCI to the farmers is called the minimum supporting price. So this is the very important, and every year FCI is purchasing from the food grains at least 1/3 of the food grains is purchasing from the farmers, which means 33% of the food grains is entire the country should be purchased by the FCI, and it will be distributed to the public distribution system, it will be distributed to the Anganwadi centers, it will be distributed to the midday meals. These are all the very important. Buffer stock and minimum supporting price is very important for the 1 mark questions and 2 marks questions.
క్లోజింగ్ చెప్పరా, క్లోజింగ్ దాంట్లో తీసుకోవాలా?
ఇప్పుడు ఎండింగ్ పార్ట్ ఇప్పుడు స్టార్ట్ చేసేస్తే అయిపోతుంది. వీటికి అయిపోతుంది, నిన్న దానికి ఇది యాడ్ చేయాలి మనం.
అదే మరి నిన్న దానికి క్లోజింగ్ చెప్పాలి కదా.
అవసరం లేదు, దాంట్లో ఉంటుంది, నిన్న దాంట్లో ఉంటుంది. వీ విల్ కమ్ బ్యాక్ నెక్స్ట్ లెసన్ అయినా తెలుసు అలా ఉంటుంది. చెప్పనా మరి?
దీని కంటిన్యూషన్ చెప్తే బెటర్, దాన్ని కట్ చేసుకోవడం కంటే.
ఇప్పుడు ఇది మళ్ళీ ఇది నేను చెప్పింది నిన్నటి స్టార్టింగ్ క్లాస్లో యాడ్ చేయాలి మధ్యలో.
అదే మధ్యలో యాడ్ చేయాలి, క్లోజింగ్ కాదు.
కాదు కాదు కాదు